What's happening, folks? It is the Paddle and Fin Podcast Network. Dock Talk's up next. Let's go ahead and make the chimichangas. A fine good evening to you on a Monday night here, folks. Welcome to the TPO Dock Talk Podcast on the Paddle and Fin Podcast Network. Man, we have got the show of shows here. U.S. Veteran Takeover tonight. We've got some super cool guests here. I'm looking for one more. Still waiting on him to show up. But we'll get this thing cranked up here. We got so much cool stuff to go over here tonight, folks. We're gonna share some stories. Obviously, we're gonna talk about a bunch of cool stuff coming up with the All-American Kayak Series. We got some cool events taking place with that. You're going to be introduced to a couple very, very awesome tackle companies here. Yeah, man, we're gonna go around. We're gonna trade. I'm sure there's gonna be some language. So if you got a beef with that, you might want to jump on a different podcast because we're not holding any of that stuff back here. So without further ado, let's go ahead and get the first guy in here. I told you guys a while back, man, we had an announcement here that we had picked up our first ever podcast sponsor. For 2024, we have Battleborn Tackle, an online tackle retailer, small business, veteran-owned. I knew after talking with Homie that this is a guy that we wanted to work with. So we chatted it out, we figured it out, and bang, it's here. Let's go ahead and bring the man in. You saw his interview a while back. Let's go ahead and get him in here, Mr. AJ Gagliardo. What's happening, brother AJ?
What's up, Gene? Thanks for having me on again.
Of course, man. Yeah, this is super exciting, man. We wanted to get a chance to you've been wanting to do some viewer appreciation stuff here with us, and dude, just getting more people a chance to get over to battleborntackle.com and check out your site. That's the name of the game. Before we bring our next guest in here for the evening as well, I want to let you folks know we're going to do something super cool tonight. Tonight, starting now on all platforms, comment hashtag Battleborn Tackle. Okay? If you comment hashtag Battleborn Tackle on any of the platforms, anywhere that you're seeing this live broadcast, your name will be automatically entered in, and we're going to do a giveaway at the end of the show here. We've got what do we have to give away here through Battleborn Tackle tonight, AJ?
We're going to do a $25 gift card.
Perfect.
Yeah, and then I was just sharing the link so I just sent it to my club too, so those guys hopefully they'll jump in.
Yeah, heck yeah. Yeah, we're on about 8-9 different channels right now, broadcasting across all social media there. So anywhere along the way, if you can see this or hear this, it's hashtag Battleborn Tackle. That's all you got to do. You do that for us, and bang, your name's entered in. We're going to give away a $25 gift card to battleborntackle.com. Don't miss out on your chance for that. Like I said, we'll do that at the end of the deal. All right, let's go ahead and bring in the next guy we got sitting in the green room here from Squirrel Minnows Fishing, and also just a laundry list of other cool things that dude is involved in that I had the pleasure to meet him, and now we're going to be working together on a couple of things. Let's go ahead and bring in Mr. Jimmy Burgess. Jimmy, welcome to the show, brother.
What's up, gentlemen?
You know, man, it's Monday night. We're hanging out. We're talking fishing. We're talking.
It is, and I'm fighting off I think kidney stones I got working right now too. So you guys are lucky. I like you. Laying on my back in bed.
A kidney stone? That's horrible.
Yeah, it's the third time I've gone through this experience. I'm still in the early stages right now, so I'm at I haven't dilated to 5 yet or anything. So
oh, dude, that is just no, and no.
Yeah.
Bro, that's if you need to bail for whatever reason, we totally understand.
Yeah, we're good. We're in the fight now.
Gotcha. And speaking of bailing, AJ warned me before we come on here, we don't have a laptop charger. So if he just suddenly disconnects, that laptop took a dive on us. All right. So don't think he just quit, right away.
Not in this household at the moment.
That's all right. That's all right. Well, guys, let's go ahead and let's get this thing started here, and let's talk Battleborn Tackle. Talk to us about that, man. Where, those that didn't see the podcast last week, where'd that come from? And tell us a little bit about it.
Yeah. So to be honest, I've gotten this question a lot now that we've been up and running for probably going on our third month now. And so, we're starting to get a little bit more exposure. Now people are like, oh, hey Jay, like what, or how's the business going? And why did you start it is the question I get quite a bit, and it's simply to fund my own fishing endeavors. You know what I mean? Like not being able to, or not having to like tap into the normal paycheck to go and do these tournaments and go and like fund my own tackle or my own, fishing is kind of a neat little thing to do. It's kind of like, you start earning your way, but it kind of helps out a little bit. But yeah, I started that 3 months ago, and it's all online. It's just it's a drop shipping model, but everything that I sell is reputable, name brand, maybe not made in America. If I can't help if a Daiwa reel or a Shimano reel or something is made somewhere else, but it's all shipped here locally from the United States to the United States. I don't ship out of the country or import anything from anywhere else. So shipping times are always usually 4 to 8 days. We had some winter weather that I'm kind of learning, as a new business owner and online. The winter weather storm it might have been 3-4 weeks ago now, but it was pretty bad, and that threw off our shipping quite a bit. I had some folks asking like, hey, have you heard about my stuff? And when I go and check on it, it's stuck in the facility that is being pounded by snow. So having to learn those like little things here and there, it's kind of interesting model, but it's been good so far. Super good support from everybody on Facebook and all the social media and stuff that I have, and yeah, it's been fun.
That's awesome, man. It's I went out and checked out the site there, and immediately, it's name brand. It's the same stuff you're going to see elsewhere, and like you said, the more you move, man, the bigger the product selection gets. Yeah. So that's I've said this. I talk about this a lot with the All American Kayak Series. We have so many dedicated anglers that absolutely love what the All American stands for. The Midwest, getting a representation, being able to fish, not just a local thing, but to be able to, go against some anglers from other states and, and meet at one location and really test your skills against some great deals. And it's the same thing with the business. If you truly do love it, it's all it means engage, help, by help participate or spread the word to participate, right? Small business. That's how we survive. That's how we can, thrive out there, is when we support each other and choose that. That's why I tell people, prices of Battleborn, dude, are as good as any of the big box. I mean, sure, there's some advantages, that big stores have, but sure. There's also advantages that small stores have too, man. And it's worth supporting that if that means something to you.
Yeah. Availability is for sure one of the big things that I'm struggling with right now. Being a kayak angler, I would love to get my hands on more kayak related, like items, especially from like brands, like reputable brand, Yak Attack being a huge one, but that just hasn't met that world yet of drop shipping. So a lot of the stuff there and the kayaking stuff, I'm still kind of putting on hold because it's not, you can get all the knockoff stuff, no problem. And it's just, I don't want to go down that rabbit hole. You know what I mean? So
yep.
I'm hoping here in the next couple months we start seeing some more kayak stuff hit. I just got a hold of some paddleboard stuff, and I know out here there's quite a few anglers doing the paddleboard fishing out here on the West Coast. So that's kind of cool. But the boating stuff has been awesome. I've actually had a lot more folks from the actual bass boat side reaching out, asking about specific things for their boat, which I didn't realize that I was going to get that kind of support. You know what I mean?
Right. Well, and speaking of small business, Squirrel Minnow Baits, Jimmy, I mean, this is your baby here that you have there. The product that you have speaks for itself, brother. I mean, the custom paint work you do on these hard baits is, I don't know, maybe I'm biased, but dude, it's like something I've not seen before.
I feel like you're biased, you know. So
Maybe.
Squirrel Minnows started out not like that at all. Squirrel Minnows fishing was just going to be basically a way for me and my wife to showcase our fishing adventures and our travels, and it's still going to be that. But then, you know, like winter started to come in, and I'm like, I want to be fishing, but can't exactly be fishing right now. I want to do stuff at the house. So I was like, yeah, maybe I'll just start painting baits. So I used to be an owner at a company called T Bravo Laser Design, and we did custom Cerakote on guns and stuff like that. And I thought, you know, I've got a tiny little bit of skill painting. I've always had kind of that artistic background. And I was like, I'm going to start doing it. So I got online and spent like $2,000 on, you know, the gun to shoot it, to put in the paint and all the paints. And it's like every time I went to Hobby Lobby, buying more paints. And then my wife started to paint signs and all that stuff for, you know, for camping and all that stuff. So it kind of gives us something to do at home. You know, it's nothing that's going to make me $1 million, but kind of like AJ was saying, it's another way to kind of supplement some of the tournament life that I want to live, and it still keeps me involved a little bit more with the fishing community, you know, because I kind of came into the game late. I'm 45, and you know, I used to be just a straight shaky head, you know, fisherman, you know, like, because one really good fisherman one time told me that the fish are biting on the shaky head, and I was like, you know, to me in my brain, I was like, oh, that means they're always biting on, you know, and a lot of the times you can catch fish on shaky head. But I was just like so convinced that was the juice, and then all of a sudden I just started doing more fishing, and luckily I've got an amazing wife who also loves to fish, and you know, so she's more, let's go out on the kayak and I'll sit back and look at my phone and eat snacks, and I'm more the guy where I'm like trying different baits and trying different depths and checking water temperature and all that stuff, and I set up all of her stuff for, you know, when we get out on the water. And doing that kind of encouraged me to like watch more online and see what, you know, what baits are working in different colors. And
Uh-oh.
Oh, got an AT&T cell phone coverage issue going on. Oh, there he is. Now he's back.
I came back. It's not cell phone. It's the internet company around here. I'm actually on my laptop, so
Gotcha.
I don't know where you lost me, but the point being, I started watching a ton of videos, doing all that stuff, and you know, I was like, you know, I think the fish like this, you know, so I started painting them, and next thing you know, like, I'm just catching tons of fish on the colors that I'm putting together, and you know, that just builds more motivation, and you know, I'm like encouraged to try different things. And then I've got people that reach out to me and they're like, try this. And I'm like, I will do that. And then
right.
That picture. And then another couple of people are like, hey, try this. And I'm by no means, I'm still completely a novice in the painting. But my baits have held up, you know, and I pound them, you know, I make the 1.5s and 2.5s, and, you know, I'm not shy on banging them into rocks. I want to try and break the bills and all that stuff. And knowing that I haven't had any break, it's not to say they won't break. I mean, they're still, you know, lures, but
sure,
you know, they've held up well, and
no, dude, you're
great. So it's been fun.
I was going to say your colors are unique because it's stuff that you recognize as an angler, right? But there's just a way, it's the artistic side of it, the way you go about it, the way you blend those colors, man. It's there. I normally don't see a ton of the custom paint stuff that really attracts my attention, to be honest with you. It's just not.
I joined a couple of those communities on Facebook, and some of the guys' work's so good. Like, it's just so exceptional when I look at them. And the great part about that community a lot of times is they appreciate when you kind of share, you know, using their stuff, and they see your pictures and use your stuff. So it's like, I'm always open about it. I'm like, if, you know, someone can make that, if they can replicate it, awesome. You know, and I feel like that's how a lot of the other painters are and stuff. And it just a lot of practice. And luckily my wife's got a lot of patience, and she just sits there and watches me, you know, get pissed off when I don't have the right color coming out of the gun or whatever else. And And, I'm also really blessed. I've got an amazing job. So I'm the director of Heartland Canines for Veterans, which is a veteran nonprofit. And we place service dogs with veterans that qualify for our program. So with that, I get a lot of flexibility and, I could still paint and be talking on the phone to veterans, or I could still paint and be working on other things, or I can let my paint dry and be working on, an update for the website or reaching out for another grant or whatever we can do. And, so I love that part. I've got an amazing organization in Heartland that allows me that freedom to be able to do that. Same with going to tournaments and stuff. It gives me a chance to kind of spread the word of Heartland Canines for Veterans and, everybody that we're looking to help out in the veteran community. And it's just been a real blessing.
That's awesome, man. Yeah, it's for sure, that there is a deal out there that is, art therapy, right? I mean, that's the piece that that you're talking about when it comes to some of that stuff. And it's pretty awesome to see that. I think I see what's going on here. AJ, did you happen to share the link I gave you with some of your dudes from the club?
Uh-oh.
I've been wondering why these guys are jumping in the green room here. Just tell them to go to the Battleborn Tackle page on Facebook. Because they're sitting in the green room.
I'm totally computer illiterate, so the fact that
that's all right. What's better is that it's live. That's the thing that's awesome, right? No worries. I just saw them jumping in there, and I'm like, yeah, I don't know who these guys are and how they got our link. I don't know. It took me a minute to piece it together, man.
I was thinking that Dumb and Dumber thing. Pick them up. Let them in.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Perfect. Well, yeah, man, that our art therapy is a real deal. And whatever the focus piece, it helps. We're actually going to be trying to partner with a couple people that we've made some connections with for that very same, purpose. See if at least to be able to, something else we can offer out there, right, to go with the recreational stuff.
I'll tell you, that's something that I would love to be able to help with. Even if we're setting up something to do it online, kind of walking through with these guys that are just looking to get into the painting, kind of how the process works, and different painting techniques, and giving them little missions to try out, get them painting certain baits, have competitions, and we can always give away some of those baits to the best baits. Plus, they'll have their own to be able to use, which would be super cool.
Dude, that's a fantastic idea. I'd
love to be able to help out with that.
Do some classes type thing. We could use StreamYard for the, just a private meeting room type thing, and be able to kind of put some of that stuff around. Yeah, that would be I can do
some
cool.
crayon style ones for AJ and his Marine boys, and but then you'll try and eat them. You just got to keep the hook out your mouth, brother.
Right. Hey, I got a question. Have you ever done any? Did you do any soft plastic stuff, or have you messed around with anything soft plastic related?
I haven't, not really. No. Like, I know I could, if you're talking about as far as like getting the like the die cast, be able to make them and stuff.
Yeah, just like remelting. I asked him, like, I'm sitting on just a box full of stuff that I told myself I was going to remelt, and I have literally probably 6 of those baggies full of soft plastic. So I'm going to remelt them one day, and I
thought about it, but I was like, I kind of wanted to pick a direction and become effective at it. Right. I've got a really good buddy that owns Naughty Reels, and he makes custom jigs down in Florida. And so he was doing like the jigs thing, and he's still doing the jigs thing. And for me, I was like, I'm going to do the hard baits. And so we kind of, so he sends me jigs, and I've sent him out some, jerk baits and stuff to use. And it's a lot of, and then, for almost a year, I was just buying jig after jig from him, and he's like, "Oh, I'm just going to send you, 10 or 12 extra." And I'm like, "You don't have to do that, man. You're a small business. Let me pay you for them." It's like, got to be like, I think that's one of the biggest struggles that you see in the fishing community is everybody wants free stuff.
Oh,
and expects free stuff. And I love the fact that, when I become pro staff, I recognize the fact that I'm going to spend money. I'm going to spend money anyway. Thank you for giving me a good discount. It's awesome. I love to broadcast on that. But so many guys are like, "Oh, yeah, I heard you guys once. Send me 10 baits, and I'll put it up on Facebook." And I understand, I get it, like I understand it's, almost a tough economy that we're in. You get a lot of guys that are like, oh, my wife gives me a $50 spending budget on, tackle. So I gotta, I can only get these two this time, whatever
Well,
the
a lot of
case
people, they
is.
don't realize like there might be value in that for
Yeah.
us, being business, like there might be a lot of value in that dude who says like, hey, hook me up with whatever and I'll make a video out of it. But I can't vet every single person who's asked me. And I've only been doing this for 3 months. I don't know how long you've been, running your deal, but like the amount of times I've been asked, I'm like, dude, I would have been, because, you want to help people out and you want to, get a good pro staff team and people to help promote your stuff. But yeah, it's tough, man. It's definitely a tough conversation,
It is, and I started off by trying to get in on the pro staff scene and, recognizing it's tough. And then you've got certain organizations, certain companies, I won't say their names, that they'll take anybody to be their pro staff. Yeah. So so when you've got 15,000 dudes that are on your pro staff, that's not pro staff anymore. So it's like, and the fishermen should recognize that too. Like, I'll see them like, hey, let me get your logo to throw that on their thing. It's like, dude, they're not giving you hardly any deal. You're one of 15,000. It's like, if you want to chase a patch just to get a patch or a shirt, like, cool, like, more power to you. But recognize you're not, getting worth out of that. All you're really doing is, just helping out some company that could really care less if you're wearing their stuff or not. And it's unfortunate, but it's just kind of the way it is. And, that's why I'm pro staff for a couple of different organizations, between Buzzbaits, New Canoe. I love representing them. I don't want to just be pro staff to be pro staff. I'm pro staff because they know I'm going to spend a ton of money anyway. So why not, let him push it out, wear the gear and whatever else. But it's a struggle.
I tell people a lot of times that you will never hear me say that the equipment that I use is the best on the market that's out there. That's just not something that jump on board, because there's a lot of great products, right? There's a lot of great offerings that are out there. What I can tell you is
I keep losing signal, so I'm going downstairs closer to the modem.
Gotcha. What I tell people is if you see me with an organization, what it means is I trust them and I believe who the people are behind the organization. Those two things, because that, to me, at my age now and where I'm at in the big scheme of things, I don't need the best whiz-bang deal on the planet out there. What I need is a solid quality product backed by a solid quality organization, man. That's what I'm looking for. One that's not going to, bail on you, and it's going to stand behind you if there's something wrong with the order. If you're not happy, they want to make you happy. And that's every one of the organizations I work with. I've had a chance to get to know these folks and see them. And yeah, man. So I totally see where you're at when it comes to people trying to get deals or whatever the case may be from a small business. They need to understand that, hey man, first help us move some stuff, buy some stuff, then we can talk about the rest of it, right?
Yeah,
I'm not like a pie graph type person by any means, but I think if I had a pie graph to say like the request to how many times somebody has actually purchased, I can see that prior to them, you know what I mean? So like I get these emails and I'm like, oh shoot, like this guy's asking for a lot, and he's not even like I don't even know if he's been on the site yet, you know what I mean? So he must have just saw social media, and so the one thing that I do to kind of combat all that is I'll do my pro staffs are only a year commitment. I mean, and I think that's fair for everybody involved, right? You get a year for me to say, hey, I can commit this discount to you, which it does affect my bottom line, right? And the ability for me to run my business. But also, I have some guys they're making YouTube videos for me with like consistently, you know what I mean? They're doing all kinds of stuff. Awesome. And I see it and I'm like, man, like this is somebody who I want to bring back over and over and over. And I want to do more for, right? Like I want to turn that 10% or 15% or whatever into something bigger. So I've been doing I just tell everybody off the bat, you get a 1-year commitment and so far so good. I mean, I've had a lot of the following for us has been pretty nice. It's been pretty fun. to see it grow for sure.
That's good stuff. That's good stuff.
Yeah, it's definitely awesome.
So, AJ, talk to us on the firefighting side, man. Las Vegas, Nevada firefighter, dude. You have got to see some crazy stuff out there.
Yeah.
Yeah. So are you like city proper fire department that you work inside Vegas itself?
I wouldn't do anything. Everything I do, it's been full bore. So of course, I found myself in the inner city. I started off at one of the busiest houses that we have in the city. Did a couple years down there, and then got a little burned out. Went to teach an academy, and then after that academy, I moved to a quote unquote slower station, which is actually is a terrible area of town. It's a lot of fires, a lot of traumas, a lot of gunshot wounds and stabbings, overdoses, all the stuff that you would imagine that you'd see in a big city. I see it daily.
Right. That's
I wouldn't have it any
stuff.
other way. That's not a woe is me by any means. Like I come home from work and I'm like, holy crap, man. Like I drove 15 minutes from what sometimes feels like a war zone. You know what I mean?
Right. Hey, man. So speaking of, don't worry. I got you back up here. We got another Marine in the house here. I just saw him connect up here. Let's bring in Brother Brian. Mr. Brian Romans, the founder of the Romans Warrior Foundation. Mr. Romans, how the heck are you, sir? Oh, he was there.
He'll be back.
You say kidding.
Dude, he's down in deep Alabama down there, so they still might be playing around with some coverage issues down there. But I did one of the comments we saw up here was and it's some advice for you, AJ, on what to do with those plastics. Put them on your dash; they'll melt here in Vegas.
Yeah, no kidding. Speaking of like firefighting though, too, that might be like one of those situations where you're like afraid to open the door because you don't know if it's like toxic fumes in there or like what that might be like. I don't know.
Right.
Down on the dashboard. It gets hot here. That would definitely happen. I've had the Z-Man stuff come apart just in my black pack out on the water.
Yeah, well, I bet, man. It's you guys are out there. That's like I said. I put a shout out the other day to the Southern Nevada kayak anglers because it's. Mm-hmm. I know you guys are kind of left out there. I mean, we feel that thing, out here in the West Coast. Side of things, it's not a lot of love thrown out to this group of anglers. So it's cool to have the desert anglers, basically, joining on board and tuning in with some of the work that we're doing. That's pretty awesome.
Yeah, there's quite
Jimmy
a few in the chat right here I can see too.
Yeah, that's awesome. Your post that you put out there, whatever your message was, it worked, man. They were first came in the studio, then they walked back out and they went to the audience section. Not that I'm going to remind you of that or anything.
Yeah, no. Literacy at its finest, but
Jimmy, we got one here. One of the guys listening here wanted to hear more about the service dogs. Are they mobility or emotional? Go ahead and give us some of that.
Awesome. So first off, the easiest place to probably go is heartlandcanines.org. We do both mobility and other ailment dogs. I hate to use the word emotional because then people associate that with emotional support dogs. So the way I always teach it, you have service dog is for me, therapy dog is for everyone else, and an emotional support dog is a pet. And that's just the way it is. We do provide PTSD dogs, PTSD anxiety. My service dog, Riley, that's what she is. But we also do mobility. We use all different breeds of dogs, from Great Danes, Golden Retrievers, which Riley is, Labs, full-size poodles. Giant Schnauzers are fantastic dogs as well. We do have a pretty extensive vetting process for the veterans that we do have come into our program. Obviously, we want veterans that are going to represent us and other veterans with service dogs in the community in the right way. And also looking to improve themselves, because we provide these service dogs to veterans at no cost. So where the national average is between $10,000 and $30,000, ours is right at about 17. And that's a huge gift to give to a veteran, and that's brought to us through donations. It's given us through grants, through companies, different companies that support us. So we want to make sure that we're going to get the right veteran for the program. That's just as important as finding the right service dog for the program. We do all the training in-house. And so I mean, sky's the limit really on who we'll look at as far as veterans come in. I'll never just say no right out the gate. But like I said, it is a pretty extensive vetting process. We kind of want to know the background. We want to make sure that if we're going to put a dog into that situation, that the dog's not going to end up in the backyard on a chain. And I'm not saying that's going to happen to everybody, but I always say that. Or I talk to a lot of veterans that are like, hey, I know I've got 3 domestics, but I sure would like a service dog. It's like, maybe not like shit. It's probably not gonna work, man. So it's it's a challenge, but veterans that do come into our program appreciate it. Their life changes.
Check. Can you hear me now?
Yeah, we got you, man. We got you. That's real quick. Hang on a sec, Brad. That's awesome, Jimmy. That is super cool, man. And let me make sure I get that up here real fast. Whoa!
People donate if they were a business or if they want.
Can you hear me now?
Donate.
I can't hear you.
So on there's an info request on our website. We're also on Facebook, Heartland Canines. And it's Heartland Canines for Veterans. There was another Heartland Canines somewhere that had a little bit of issues. That's not us. But it's Heartland Canines for Veterans. You can go right on our website. There's a donation page right on there. Or contact me because we've got a lot of really cool opportunities for companies. Like one real quick, if we've got time, Gene. It's called the One of Us campaign, where an organization can actually sponsor the entire cost of the service dog and the team being formed. And they get to name the dog, which is cool. They can't name the veteran. He or she already comes named. So they're just kind of stuck with who they're stuck with. But yeah, get to watch the growing process of the dog, get to see the training. Because service training doesn't actually start until dogs are anywhere between like 10 and 14 months is usually a good time to start that. But obedience training starts right away. So we'll start training them, start getting them accustomed to going out in public. Getting them associated with what it's like to be in public, that people aren't the enemy, but to understand what that looks like and what that feels like for them. And then the training starts. Like anytime anybody wants to help out, a lot of that's just giving me a call or going to our website and just requesting that info. Hey, I want to donate, or going directly to the donate tab that we have on there too. I rarely say just go to the donate tab and donate. I want people to understand the process. I want them to know where that money goes, and I want them to see the quality of life that we improve for the veterans and their families, and they see that by seeing that. That's why when I go out in public, I have Riley with me, and I have her with me anyway, but them getting to see her and actually getting to see what a real service dog looks like. We're not talking about Aunt Sandy feeding a Chihuahua French fries off the table at the Cracker Barrel. That's not a service dog. We're talking about real service dogs that are down, out of the way, doing what they're supposed to be doing. And for people to be able to see that, that's the game changer. That's what it's about.
That's awesome. Oh, yeah. That's good stuff, man. And it is important that people understand the mission, what's behind it. You want them to, obviously the donation is phenomenal, but having a vested interest, man, that really carries a lot of extra weight.
I agree.
So we got Mr. Romans here. So besides, this is kind of funny here. Because, Jimmy, you were a firefighter.
Yep.
Mr. Romans is also a firefighter down in Alabama. And AJ's a paid firefighter in Vegas. So my guess is he was probably on a call. That's what's been holding us up. Let's see if he can hear us, if we can get him in here. How about now, boss? You got us?
Chuck 1 2. Chuck 1 2. You got me?
Yeah, we got you. Do you have us? Man,
yes, I can hear you.
There's like a 3-second delay on its way to you. There's something, I don't know. The Ravens are slow getting into Alabama, I think.
I just picture him.
Let me try one thing.
And your mic is hitting really loud. No.
Okay. How about now? Can you hear me now?
Yeah, we can hear you just fine. Your mic is actually hitting really hard. It was taking a little time for us to get to you.
Oh, it was on my Bluetooth on my truck, so now it's unhooked, but I can barely hear you. So
Perfect.
it works out. At least you can hear me. So how you guys doing, man? Sorry for being late.
You're awesome.
We're good, man.
Real quick, Gene.
Yep.
I think you're trying to put together a calendar. That's what I think is going on here. Since we're all firefighters.
He's got the wrong guy here, though. That's for sure.
We're all firefighters, so I think he's trying to put together a calendar. So.
Right. We got a firefighter calendar. That's just a quick way to.
Oh man!
I mean, I love you guys, but damn.
I didn't say it would sell. I just said we're trying to put together a calendar.
You know, you are the idea guy, Jimmy. I'm noticing this about you. You've always, those wheels are always turning out there. That suits us well.
I think I'm at 4 small businesses I've made now that I've created, and and I think the other
is the 4th the calendar.
What was that?
Is the 4th the calendar?
No, that's the 5th or 6th. I think I already did the calendar thing once. But I think like the as Marines and as firefighters can all attest, you have to be able to think outside the box to be effective, and to really accomplish the mission. You have to be able to think outside the box. And I know for me, I was good in those jobs because my brain was just always going. There was always something new, something that you could develop, something that you could make better.
Right.
There's a double-edged sword aspect to that, though, huh? Because your brain never shuts off. And then all of a sudden,
absolutely, yeah, that got me in trouble more than one time. Yeah, it definitely, cost me more than one time. But that's just who I am. You got to keep moving forward.
All right, we got him here, boss. How the heck are you? What's going on? Where you been? What's happening?
I need a damn comm guy.
Yeah, I hear you, man.
I need somebody with data, because this connection sucks.
It's always been kind of tricky down there. We need to improve the size of the string between the cans for the internet's provider.
String the cans.
Yeah. Well, it's like if I back up in the driveway, I might be able to get a better signal. Like right there. How's that? Is that better?
Yeah, you're good, man. You're totally good. Talk to us. For folks at home that don't know, this is Mr. Brian Romans of the Romans Warrior Foundation, the soul, heart, and reason why we are here doing what we're doing.
It's awesome.
The guy behind everything here. Brian and I met, I think, for 45 minutes and started wondering if we maybe had the same dad somewhere down the line, because there was an immediate connection there, and the mission was set into play. And we were like, "Yep, tell us what you need, boss. We're in." And it's
you're coming in to me very pixelated. There you are.
Try going to audio only. Try to go to audio only. Just turn your camera off and see if that improves the connection.
I remember being on dial-up.
Right? Oh, he just disconnected everything. All right, we're going to keep rolling here with this, and we'll work with the man when he comes through. So one of the cool things, putting this all together, obviously Battleborn Tackle coming on board with us. That's a major deal for us, supporting where we can support and partnering together, locking shields. Not only just supporting your fishing habit, but basically building this thing into something that quite frankly could be pretty damn awesome out there. I mean, for folks having an online tackle retailer source, man, that's awesome to have, especially when they can know that they're actually not feeding somebody who's drawing a $1.2 million salary or whatever. They're taking care of a small business, and so that's important. Let's see if we can bring him in now with audio only.
Hey, AJ, can you kind of explain how drop shipping works for those that don't understand, that might have the smaller businesses or might have businesses, how drop shop or how that actually benefits businesses?
So I had somebody actually the other day say, well, you're cutting out the middleman. And I want you to just put that on the back burner here for a little bit. You're cutting out the middleman. But so what I do is I built a website. It took me about 9 months or so to build, and I just built it all on YouTube and used all the online resources that I could find for no charge, right? So I did that just through the night again, like we were just joking about, when your brain doesn't shut off, you have plenty of time to work on stuff and tinker, right? So I put this website together, this idea that I wanted to drop ship kayak fishing or bass fishing supplies specifically. And I just went around looking to see because people can drop ship all kinds of stuff. I mean, when you buy stuff on Amazon or Walmart or wherever you're buying it from, a lot of times it gets to your house so quickly because it's coming from a distributor that's using that drop shipping model, right? So it might be coming from Walmart. Well, you bought it on Amazon, and the guy who's filling it is AJ Gagliardo, right? So the middleman is still there. I just don't have a brick and mortar shop anymore.
Gotcha.
Right? I built my brick and mortar online because that's the way of the world right now, right? You want instant gratification. You want to get on your phone, buy something, and have it show up in a couple of days. So I thought that would be the easiest model for me to get started because I do have dreams and aspirations of owning like a brick and mortar shop. Because here in the West, like Gene kind of mentioned, or in the Southwest, we're lacking in quality tackle and quality, not so much tackle. We have tackle shops and stuff, and they do well out here. Nothing like buying kayaks. Nothing for those shops are very hard to find. So that's the goal eventually. But yeah, as of right now, to answer your question or to go back to your question, I have a distributor that I work with. I got the approval from the distributor for them to package, label, and ship my orders to my customers. I market it. So I put it on my website. I charge the price. There's parameters that I have to meet. And basically when somebody goes on my shop, they buy it, they add it to their cart. I get the notification on my phone. I fulfill the order, and then it gets sent over from the distributor to the consumer. The cons of this, because there's obviously cons, right, is that I don't get my eyes on that box every single time until I start doing, like, if I sell catch boards or some type of measuring board or something like that, those are going to be shipped from me, my own actual house or warehouse. Those I'll be able to see and put eyes on, right? So it's kind of different model, different aspect of doing things, but it's been good so far. It's worked out really well. It is a little bit of a learning curve to do all the computer work for sure.
That's awesome, dude.
Yeah,
that's awesome because I'm sure I'm not alone, and a lot of people that like know that process is out there. Know how it works. Like when we go on Amazon, I'm not getting something directly from that company. It's coming from a warehouse. And
well, it's crazy because like you can get, what people usually do is, or that you'll see the drop shipping model got its popularity from people just finding like one-off items, like this little tie down right here, right? This like reusable tie down strap. When these,
I love those things.
Yeah, somebody comes up with an idea and then they put it on Instagram. Well, the drop shipper 2 years ago or 5 years ago, he would make one website of all the different sizes of just this product. And then he would sell it and he would make a ton of money really quick, and then it would fizzle out, and then he'd have to find another new product to do that. For me, I'm like, oh man, if I could just sell I know Z-Man sells, I know Strike King sells, I know Daiwa, Abu Garcia, you know what I mean? I'm like, if I can just get the products that I know our folks are looking for, and then and sell those in the same model, and sure enough, it was doable. It just took some doing to get it done. A lot of knocking down doors. A lot of businesses won't.
Is that something that they send it to you to keep and maintain in your warehouse, and then it goes out, or whoever the distributor is, or are you just the platform where they just click on it and boom, and then you send the order to them? This is what it is.
Exactly. Yep. But I have to maintain all of that marketing. So and I've done it before. When things get busy around the house, I let my marketing, like the aggressiveness in which I do my promotions and stuff like that, I let them fall off a little bit, and it plummets. Like business absolutely tanks. It's a very interesting model. If you don't tend to it all the time, I'm sure just like your dogs, right? It can go south real quick.
Yep. Internet like dog algorithms.
For sure. Hey there, boss. You got us now?
Yeah, man. So I'm sorry. I drove a mile down the damn road. Nothing got better. Came back, reset the phone, and here we are. So I apologize, gents.
No problem at all, man. We adapt, we overcome, we figure it out. So introduce yourself, boss. Romans Warrior Foundation. Who are we?
Well, we're a bunch of a-holes that truly and honestly, we're a bunch of passionate Americans that truly care about our veterans, first responders, and Gold Star families. We give 110% of what we are and what we have to be able to help those out that may need a hand up, not a handout. That's our biggest thing. And, I heard Gene broken message in there talk about locking shields. We're very selective on who we partner with, simply because we don't want any Joe Schmo. And I was talking to another vet organization the other day, and it's embarrassing when we compete to help veterans or we compete to help first responders or Gold Star families. It's not a competition. And anybody that I hear those words come out of their mouth, I immediately give the big F off to and turn my back to them and walk away, because we're not in it to compete. When we lock shields and we have the same passion, we can only move mountains farther. Gene and I, we met, and I think I heard him start saying it over a 45-minute conversation. And then the next day, him and his wife come out, and we had another 45-minute conversation. And next thing you know, we're finishing each other's sentences. It's not like a Lady and the Tramp situation, but it's kind of like
there was no spaghetti.
You guys on the same side?
But now the Romans Warrior Foundation, our whole primary goal is to provide cost-free weekend retreats to Gold Star families, first responders, and veterans. That's what we started out as. Our first 2 years, we were truly amazing in what we were able to do, because we had a small group. When I say a small circle, literally the people in my circle could fit in the bed of my pickup truck. And we were able to save lives. We saved 75 veteran lives, 22 first responder lives, just by getting out there, answering the phone, answering emails, instant messages. And I was known to show up on people's doorsteps at times unannounced, to ask them what the hell their problem was, shake them out of their funk, and get them back into a purpose, right? As you can tell, I have no filter. That wasn't installed in the Marine Corps. They ripped that crap out of me. But I mean, that's what it's about. Sometimes you have to have that tough love for people to get that thumping that they need to get out of that funk. But we've grown exponentially. Gene, we talked him out of a V-hull bass boat and put him in a kayak to do our outdoor program. We got another veteran. You guys may have heard of him. You may have seen him on our socials. Stephen Cochran. He runs our Stop 22 tour program. And then we've got the Global War on Terror Wall of Remembrance. The common thread about all of our programs, gentlemen, is it's non-traditional means of therapy, from combat vets and first responders to combat vets and first responders. Because the one thing that drives me absolutely crazy is if you guys have been in the VA system or in a therapeutic situation, they've got these degrees on their wall. They've got these pictures that may assume that they've been through what you've been through. And then you get to the brass tacks and like, well, yeah, I was never there. Well, then how are you empathizing with what I'm going through?
Tracking.
So by having the guys and gals that have been in the mud, we're able to get down to the root of what truly is going on without having to worry about, all the fluff and the, I don't know, what's the polite way of saying it, Gene? The
red tape.
Thank you. The red tape with it. We go right for the jugular and we just throw the cards on the table. Sometimes there have been a few cases where that has not proven its worth, but most of the time we get the respect of our clientele, so to speak. I have a very sarcastic, dry sense of humor. You guys are firefighters, so you understand, right? It's like the firehouse humor, You're either going to get tough or you're going to get your feelings hurt. And that's how I approach everything.
Same with the military. I said the same with the military. It's the exact same thing there. All of us were you either excel through it or you do your time and you get out. You don't talk about it. I think those that full on took on the experience, that kind of live with that little bit of saltiness that most of us can appreciate with each other and should appreciate with each other,
Yeah.
So I agree. I love hearing it.
If I get offended, Jimmy, that you call me I know we're censored, so I'm not going to cuss, Gene. So you don't have to worry about that.
We're not censored. And I warned people at the beginning of the show that we are going to have a couple combat vets and some some boys out here. So
good company when there has to be a disclaimer. I'm like, all right, these are my guys. Like, this is
exactly.
Cool. Thanks for ripping that Band-Aid off. So basically, if I'm going to get offended, Jimmy, if you calling me a fuckhead or a fuckstick, then I am in the wrong business, bud.
Concur.
But that's how we approach it, and there are situations where we have to use kid gloves with certain things, like with the wall. So the wall is this phenomenal piece of art. And I don't know, there's other adjectives you could use to describe it, but it's an art piece that opens the door for healing and hope. And when you watch a family member, a loved one, a fellow service member reach out to that wall and find the name that they haven't seen or heard in 15 to 20 years, and they have that emotional breakthrough, you have to use a little bit of kid gloves then.
Yeah.
But, like with what Gene does with the field ops, there's no kid gloves there. It's get your ass in the yak or get out there and start a fire, shoot the gun, whatever. When we get the the one of the best parts, and I'll tell you a quick story, is we went out to Raptor 6 Ranch in Colorado. And when, people were asking Ray, hey, man, how'd you get the meat, blah, blah, blah. And he goes, well, it's my cow. What about the chicken? We raised them. My daughter killed them and cleaned them. I barbecued them, and they're like, stark face. They're like, what the hell? And he goes, eat up. It's grass Colorado fed beef. Yeah, the wives were like, what? Who? What? But that's kind of what we do, guys. I'm getting long-winded, but that's kind of what we do. And the biggest thing is getting like-minded folks together to be able to further the cause and further the mission.
I think that's why Gene grabbed a hold of me, because saying what you were saying, it sounded so familiar. The conversation I had with him, where veteran organizations just need to do a better job of working together. We've got the exact same goal. We've got the exact same mission. We just got one guy's going off to the left, the other guy's going off to the right. It's cool as long as we meet on target. Right. We're accomplishing the mission. Let's get it done, and help other guys too. I mean, I know not every veteran's going to need a service dog, but I do know a veteran that wants to go kayaking, or a veteran that wants to go on a hunting trip, or a veteran that's having a hard time and needs a ramp built for out in front of his house.
Right.
It's all about knowing those different organizations that can make that happen. And the fact that there's other organizations that try to facilitate that same little Rolodex of knowledge of knowing where to go and who to talk to be able to help veterans is really the secret of the game.
It truly is. And I'm going to capitalize on what you just said, Jimmy. I was taught very early on in the Marine Corps what it takes to be a great leader. And a lot of people think a great leader has all the answers. No, a great leader has the resource value to know who to contact to get the answers and get the results.
So true. That is that's truer words never spoken, literally. And then that same leader has that ability to not take any credit for that. To let them, let them deliver, let their needs are get fulfilled. Cool, Roger that. Accomplish the mission again, and do what you got to do. And I think that's another big secret to it. No need for accolades, no need for more ribbons or whatever else. Just cool, man. Glad I could help. Now kick rocks. There's really not much more to it than that.
One of the things I wanted to use here when we were talking about the wall, this is a great segue in. We talking about organizations locking shields, Battleborn and the podcast, we lock shields together. We got a common interest, a common goal to serve things out there. Plus, not for nothing, AJ, you are the dude, and all three of you guys are the model of the people that we are here to serve and try to, improve however we can, quality of life, wherever it is. But the point was, when we lock shields, the Romans Warrior Foundation locked shields with the All-American Kayak Series. And the idea was we wanted to, at each one of the stops where the All-American goes, we wanted to connect with the local community and find a way to bring one of these non-traditional methods of healing and so forth to those local communities as a way to say thank you. So we had that, and that conversation took place before I ever joined on board with the All-American Kayak Series, which was phenomenal. Josh Booth was like, absolutely, brother, let's do this and go after it. And so having said that, the wall, this was a great segue. One of the largest events that takes place every year in the United States for kayak fishing is the All-American Kayak Classic. It's one of the top 5, easily. Last year we put like 196 up. Oh, there we go. There's Riley. We put 196 anglers on the board last year, which was a phenomenal showing. This year, not going to be surprised. We well blow past that 200 mark, maybe even tapping on 250 anglers showing up at Lake Truman. Going to be an amazing event. On top of that, at the Benson Convention Center, because of the Chamber of Commerce there and the local businesses supporting this, the Global War on Terror's Wall of Remembrance wall is going to be on display the same time that the All-American Kayak Classic is going on. So we're going to have the wall there. Brian's going to be there. We're going to be set up. We got Bucksaw Resort. That's our host for this deal. Everhart's, of course, is behind the Classic, keeping that rolling. It's going to be an awesome deal. The folks of Clinton are really excited. The businesses are excited to have us coming into town. I can't wait, man. I'm so freaking proud to be working with both organizations.
Is that May 3rd and 4th that I see in the comments? Is that when that is?
You betcha. Yeah. That's actually, look at that. We got the man himself, Mr. Josh Booth here. Looking forward to seeing the wall for the first time in Clinton, Missouri on May 3rd and 4th. I'm telling you, man, it is, if you've never had an opportunity, the two sides of the wall are very, very easy in their concept. One is education. The other is the honor side. You have to see this. This is the only traveling memorial wall that's dedicated to the global war on terror in the United States right now. That's freaking cool. Thanks to Mr. Romans and his entire family and that organization, they travel this thing all over the country, man, awesome. Every year. And it's working with these little communities like this too, that and organizations that front the donation monies up to make it possible to get there. As you know, that stuff doesn't come cheap these days to roll that stuff down the road.
It's a fact.
That is super cool though. I definitely would like to see that. That's freaking cool.
Dude, it's going to be a blast. If you need AJ, if you need any help getting out there, man, you let me know. I mean, your anglers. I know it's a hell of a drive for your guys, but top 15 AOI from last year qualify to join in. Talk to us, man. We can get you guys in there, and there's Airbnb options there. Bucksaw is offering great rates.
Well, just even the last time you and I had spoke, because I mean, we don't have the All-American Kayak Series out this way, yet it sounds like. But I mean, man, after you kind of like broke it down a little bit, man, it sounds like that's exactly.
I think Josh Booth said they cannot, that everyone can just stay with him, so it'll be fine.
Perfect.
That's right. Yeah. Yep. Josh. Josh always has room.
Oh yeah.
Hey, Matt Collins, what's up, brother?
I gave him a hard time about the Hobby Lobby bass that he's got on his wall every time he does his broadcast. I've got the same one right there.
That is awesome.
My wife paint mine, so.
Dude, hold on here. Andrew Kasparek. Andrew, my brother, how in the hell have you been? Guys, I'm sorry, this one's a personal one. Andrew and I fished together back in Minnesota, like way back a lifetime ago. This is so cool, man, that he's out here watching this and supporting us through this. Brother Andrew, I miss you, man. I miss you a ton. He's got a detailing business out there, details boats, buses, cars, you name it. Takes care of everything out there in Minnesota.
I was going to say, where are you at? I got a 45 footer.
I grew up in Wisconsin. So I'm always going to give Minnesota a hard time. That's just how it is.
That's right. Damn. So Josh has got a 4x4 pup tent ready to go for anybody who wants to stay with him. Like.
Perfect.
Hey, if we're rolling the RV out there, we can set up a camp right outside, bud.
That's right. Folks, make sure that we don't have a ton of entries here. There's been a few people that have commented and you didn't get the hashtag just right. This AI is looking for hashtag Battleborn Tackle. Can't be hashtag Battleborn. Can't just be Battleborn Tackle. It's got to have that hashtag in it. Then your name gets entered in. So make sure you throw that comment out. Doesn't matter if you're on Facebook or YouTube right now. If you're seeing this, make sure, or hearing this, make sure you do hashtag Battleborn Tackle. We want to get more entries into this here to give away this $25 gift card here.
All right, we got to be polite for us old timers. That's the pound sign.
That
Battleborn
is
Tackle.
Hash Brown Battleborn Tackle.
Man, you missed it. I tried to send the freaking invite link to get everybody to the same one that we used to get into the, what do you call it, the studio?
This is the studio,
I sent that out to about 25 people thinking that it was the link to just come and watch the dang show. So don't worry.
You should have seen it, Brian. All of a sudden, I'm seeing these people pop up in the green room, and I'm like, who in the hell is that? And how are they getting into the studio? And then all of a sudden, I'm like, wait a minute. AJ, did you send the link I sent you?
Well, just to all the guys I fish with. Yeah. Just everybody I fish with out here in Vegas had that link. So
that's awesome.
So, AJ, you're in Vegas, yeah?
Yes. Yes, sir.
Okay, so to my knowledge, I don't think the Wall's ever been to Vegas. I've got a buddy out there. I got a buddy out there that I served with. He was an engineer. He's out there in Vegas. I've sent some guys out to SHOT Show a couple years back. But we would love to come out to Vegas because I hear you guys got a fabulous Marine Corps bar out there.
We have a pretty bitchin' Marine Corps ball out here. Yeah. And they do it's a pretty big deal on the birthday too. I mean, I know that's probably going to be a hard one to swing, but it's a awesome establishment.
Because you guys got the Ton Tavern replica bar out there.
Yep.
Yeah. Jimmy, where are you at?
What's that?
Joplin, Missouri.
Oh.
Okay, so we're coming to see you.
Yep, I'll be here. Yep.
All right.
So,
have you heard of Project Canine Hero?
I have. Yep, I have.
Okay. We'll talk some more about that, and if you're down to maybe do some relationships with Jason out there in Tennessee.
Absolutely.
Too.
Absolutely. I'm down for all that stuff. Now, and on top of that, I love meeting guys that have similar passion, looking out for veterans. And,
he looks out. He looks out for veterans, but he more looks out for the dogs.
That's even better.
That's what I love about Jason, man.
Are easier to train. That's
yeah,
why.
He's actually fought in Congress for bills to be passed for the care of service animals and military working dogs, police working dogs.
That's awesome. I know for us, the service dogs that we have that have retired, they've stayed right in the home with the veteran and retired just as a pet, get to live the good, happy life, which they're doing anyway. But they're also getting end of service. They retire, get to hang out and do the thing. So we're all about that at Heartland too. It's just so important to be able to take care of those because it become family. That's
absolutely
really what it boils down to. They're family. Riley here, she goes with me everywhere. As much as she can when she's not in training or if it's too hot or whatever the circumstance may be. Other than that, she's with me, all the time. And I'd love to see that service get rewarded once they, complete the mission. So
absolutely.
And speaking on that, this is the thing I noticed about Jimmy from day one on this is what got your attention was my interview with Clay Ragsdale. Clay Ragsdale runs veterans kayak fishing down in Georgia. Amazing organization. We love us some Clay. I'll tell you what, they couldn't be more of a mirror image of what we wanted to do with the field ops and the TPO here if we tried. Except they are doing some things here that we've learned from there. And I was talking to Clay about some of those areas that we can improve upon that they've done that they're doing great with. But you reached out to me because of that, because you heard Clay and I talking about the willingness to work together. I immediately called Brian and said, "Listen, boss, if there's an event going on down there, Georgia, Alabama area, that's the organization to reach out to. Don't worry about needing to get my butt down there or try to find more people. Work with Clay and that organization because they're doing it exactly the way we want it." Well, Jimmy, you did the same thing, dude. You hit me up. And out of this, I want to basically drop this information so people understand what we've got in the works. Looks like we've solidified and locked up our opening event at Lake of the Ozarks coming up here at the beginning of April. The Friday, April 5th, We have got a field ops, RWF field ops event that's going to be taking place. Eco Fishing Shop is going to donate a couple kayaks for us to use. They're also helping us find a veteran or two that we can take out with this. And because of Jimmy's work and putting this whole thing together and the motivation, Squirrel Minnows is actually getting behind this to put up the donation to make this all come together, to make everything work. And we're going to be able to get a field ops event in on that Friday before the event goes off on Saturday, Sunday. On top of that, Jimmy, because of your work with Bud's Baits, got to give these guys a shout out down there in Joplin. Bud's Baits down in Joplin, Missouri, is we're going to be looking to put the details together so that at our championship at Table Rock at the end of the year, Bud's is going to help bring some kayaks down there so we can do another field ops event at the championship at Table Rock, man. This is connecting together with, with Eco, Bud's, you're at the heart of all of this, Jimmy. And from the bottom of my heart, brother, I just can't thank you enough for the motivation piece, the making all this come together. And we've got a couple other cool things that we'll be announcing when I get back from vacation that might be some ways we can help fund a lot of this stuff and get it going forward. But dude, that's awesome stuff.
And stomp on you or anything like that, or but if maybe there's opportunity for Battleborn to sweeten the pot too. So maybe after this we'll talk about that and see if there's something I can do to. That sounds like a pretty. How many of those events do you think you'll do this year?
Brother, I'm trying to make sure that we have 6 normal season events, and I want to do like we've got plus we got the Classic. So we've got the Wall at the Classic. We're doing a field ops at Lake of the Ozark. We're set up to do with Matt Collins, who commented earlier. We're trying to put together a field ops at Kentucky Lake with some Green Berets down there. We got the Table Rock event that looks like we're going to be able to put that together. I want to get one in Okoboji. I want to get one in La Crosse. Want to get one at Minocqua and then at Ouachita in Arkansas. That's the whole name of this game, is to try to work with these local chambers, work with the local VFWs, and just introduce people and get these our nation's warfighters out in a kayak, man. Get them outdoors and see if we can get them the bug.
That's
Absolutely.
super cool. Yeah, that sounds awesome.
Hey, here's an idea, AJ, if you're down, and Gene, if you're down. So maybe Battleborn might be a keynote. And I don't want to speak on your behalf, but it's just an idea of thought. But maybe Battleborn might be interested in the conversation of doing the keynote for the Fishing on a Mission.
Which one what is that?
I'll share that with you afterwards. The Fishing with the Mission program is something we've put together where anglers are going to have an opportunity to work with their local businesses or a supporter around there that does a pledge based on their results. And I'm wondering if, we're going to try to expand this to help fund these type of events, because, having an operating budget is an absolute must, with the nonprofit world.
Oh yeah.
And being able to get gear, be able to we want to take them out to dinner and have a nice dinner, where we can sit around and let the camaraderie flow there. If it's not a dinner, we want to be able to at least, burn up some steaks on a barbecue at a campfire, things of that nature. And that all takes, a little bit of funding to put together. Working with local dealers is a huge, huge deal that, Jimmy, I don't know why I didn't think of that prior, because that saves so much money so I don't have to haul my trailer, because that trailer, we've got a ton of new canoes in there, but yeah, dog, that costs some gas mileage to roll that big rig down the highway. Nowhere's near what Brian does, but...
And like what we were talking about, Gene, it also helps benefit those other small business owners and stuff where they can showcase their kayaks, and people, the neighbors and stuff come over and they want to look at them, and that's where they end up getting their kayaks instead of necessarily ordering one online or whatever else. They can get a chance to test it. And I think that's one big thing with kayaks is, like everybody says, before you buy a kayak, you should kind of paddle around in it and make sure you're not going to end up head over heels in the water and, on every cast. I wanted to make sure when I got into my Unlimited, I was, just comfortable, I'm comfortable, got room for all my stuff. I can, set the hook like a madman when I'm pitching and flipping. So, but there's other people that want to have that, that aerodynamics, and they want to be fast on the water, and they want all this stuff. So, kind of knowing what's available out there and all that stuff, it's important.
Hell yeah. And it's like you said, man, that's the whole name of this game, is working together. We've said that from day one. And Brian and I, that was one of the things we believed in, is that working together without crap behind the scenes. We're here to support each other. We know the mission we're on. And if local businesses, if we can help them, because they want to do what's right, that's my only piece. I always put that in there, is that anybody we work with, they understand that, no, man, you're in this for the mission first and foremost. Okay. That's what I'm here for. The secondary part that comes out of it, the good things, will help with that, obviously, but we're here for the mission, and let's not lose sight of that, because, there's a lot of people that I call family now, that have given up everything and truly have sacrificed a lot of future for this mission. And so we're going to honor that. And that doesn't even get close to what the people that we're out to serve, what they've given. You know what I mean?
Do I still have a minute to talk about Peterson Outdoor Ministries?
Yeah, go for it, brother.
We have so March 9th. So I know Tron Peterson.
That's right, Buds. Here we go.
Yep. So Peterson Outdoor Ministries is, very similar. They've got they bring in first responders and disabled veterans out to their Lodge of Hope. And they've got an actual lake out there and all that stuff. Well, they had hooked up with Easy Dock to put in a dock that makes it easily accessible for disabled veterans to be able to for them to get into the kayaks. And it's a fantastic, absolutely beautiful process, how it works. Well, March 9th, because Tron and Peterson Outdoor Ministries, they've supported me in my fishing endeavors. So my wife and I are going out there on March 9th, along with Bud's Baits and Easy Dock's going to be out there and doing a demonstration out there for those guys, letting them running around on the kayaks and letting Easy Docks showcase how well their docks work for disabled veterans. And again, kind of like Brian was saying, it's just another veteran organization just helping each other out and pushing it out there and letting veterans know that help is available. And, there's, and I talk about this all the time, and Tron even knows I'm aware of it. I'm not a huge, coming to Jesus type guy, or the faith, necessarily faith-based, but I can understand why it's so important to some people, and fully support that. And Peterson's got a great organization out there helping a lot of those veterans. So if I can go, I'm just volunteering my time. My wife and I just going out there and letting people run around on our kayaks and stuff, and getting to experience how amazing, just like we've all had that same conversation, it is to get on the water and just to appreciate the water and appreciate nature and appreciate putting your phone down for 2 damn seconds, or the only time you pick it up is when you're taking pictures of a 6-pounder. It's that's just what it's about, and giving us all stuff to kind of reminisce and bond over. So
Clay and his organization had a couple key phrases, and I'm paraphrasing on this. They go to their website, Veteran Kayak Fishing out of Georgia, and you'll see this. But like he says, we're doing the healing, and we're creating those bonds one cast at a time. That's one of the things they talk about, which is phenomenal. And the other key point that I've been using this, I asked Clay if he and his wife, they didn't mind if I use this, because it is the best way to explain things. And so I've been using this to explain to people is, when you three gentlemen were in service, there's a tribe that's created there. There's a brotherhood. There's a family that is unlike anything else on this planet. It cannot be replicated. You have that when you're in. When you come out and you're in the civilian life, it's not there, dude. Civilian life, this out here, that tribe doesn't exist anymore. Until you find like-minded individuals that have similar experiences and you can start to connect with them, I will say that the kayak fishing community is a pretty close-knit community. And when you take kayak fishing and you take veterans and you can mix all that together, dude, that creates that tribe again. You start getting a common interest, love. You start having, something that just, it helps you unplug and get the hell away from the junk, right? And not have to worry about that. Like you said, I'm worried about that old bug-eyed slaunch underneath that log that I'm trying to peel out of there. That's all I'm worried about right now. And when you and your buddy are out there doing that and you can rub that in his face, or he can do the same to you. I mean, there's nothing like that, right? And That's the hope, is that I want to give somebody a new addiction where they spend a ridiculous amount of money on tackle and get in trouble with their wife. If they do that, I've done my job. And we've passed on a good deal at that point.
That's a fact, and it works the same for being married as well. I know for me, my wife and I being able to get on the water, we've found that connection of stuff that we like to do together. And she loves catching bigger fish than me and rubbing it in my face. That's her. Quick caveat on that. So last year we were fishing on, I don't know, Lamar or something like that. And she caught this. She's a tiny little thing. She's 100 pounds soaking wet with rocks in her pants. So when she sets the hook into something big, it's already pulling her kayak around, all this stuff. She gets it up out of the water, and I shit you not, this was easily probably a 5.5 pounder, which is a great big fish for, Missouri. That's a great size fish. And, she's holding it up, and, I'm like, well, here, if you just, I'll let you take a picture, but let me get it out of the net. And, where she's like, let me get my phone. So she gets her phone out, and I go to grab the fish out, and I shit you not, it could have been in the slowest of motions. I watched this fish just kind of come out, give me one of these, and my wife was so mad. She didn't talk to me for like 3 hours because she said I did it on purpose. It was all my fault. And all I wanted to do was take a picture for her. I wanted to have this glorious, hold it right. You can even hold this one in close. You don't have to hold it way out there to make it look bigger. You can hold it right here type pictures.
Right.
It'd be magical. But the only thing magical was watching that, like the droplets of water, like coming off as the back, like hit the side of the kayak and went in the water. And she swears to this day that I did it on purpose. And that's something I'd never do on purpose. I want her to have those pictures. I already know I'm a better fisherman, so I got to let her have a few of those wins,
So I'm looking for the comments now. Let's see if she's watching this.
Because she's not in the room with him.
I'm sure she can hear me upstairs. So
that's going to be a hashtag. I don't think we're going to want to repeat.
I had one jump the board in a tournament a few months ago, and it was, like you said, all dramatic and slow. Like everything just slows down. Your senses get super heightened, and you're like, I just lost this fish.
Dude, it's different when you drop your white fish. I promise you. It could have been Bassmaster. That comes off the board. It does not compare to the white fish.
Have you had a release where, like, when you go to release that fish, they kind of come up and they kind of do this weird number where they're kind of like dancing and then they flip out of the water and then dive away?
Oh, yeah.
That's what I got on the end of that. And I was like, not only did he just jump the board, but he, like, made, like, a scene out of it. And, everybody freaking saw it.
He was clowning you on the way out. He was clowning you for sure.
Like I see some dudes that take their pictures, they don't even have their hand there. And they take that, they got this big 23.5-inch bass and they're taking a picture of it, no hand on it. I'm like, I have a fish like that. You can see like my fingerprints on the belly from trying to hold it down. But it's those bigger ones. They're not going to jump as much. But, I'm still like, let me get the picture first and then we'll play that game.
Yeah.
So
for sure, man.
I haven't had the pleasure of losing my wife's, but man, I can only imagine what kind of pain that was.
It was horrible. Like, it was so traumatic. She made it traumatic for me. It was her fish, and I'm the one over 300 yards down the bank crying like a 5-year-old just shit his pants on the playground. Because
and it's memories like that we set out to create.
Yeah, but I wouldn't change a thing. She's out there with me. She's out fishing. Yeah. She's doing that stuff. That's the same with setting up her stuff in the morning before we go out and when we get out there and stuff. I'll look over and I'm switching baits and she's over there eating beef jerky, scrolling Facebook, like kick back, just getting sun. But it's just all about the experience being out there. I never really gave her a hard time about that. When she does catch fish, I have more joy watching her catch fish. She got her first jerkbait fish on one of my custom baits this weekend, and it was just like the joy that she really has, catching that fish and bringing it in, and I think that's why we do a lot of what we do with helping veterans out there and stuff, because we get to see that reward again and again. And we love to say that it's not like, self-soothing or whatever else, but seeing that process, is very, I know, healing and helpful for me. and others that get involved in that, I mean, that right there is my solace, knowing that, hey, I just put another veteran on the fishing, and he's going to continue to come back and want to do it again. And then next thing you know, you see them like talking about, oh, when you're doing this with the jig, you should be, letting out this much slack and pulling it up. Like seeing them tell those same stories that, that same little teaching lessons that, we learned and did. And it's awesome. I love it.
Brian and I talked about that, from day one in regards to, when you run a nonprofit, I'm gonna peel back the onion layer in the Wizard of Oz curtain here. It's running a small business, folks, and it is filled with a whole lot of nut punches and front kicks that you get smacked around with. Especially, what makes it just amplifies it is, you're not sitting here trying to sell, a brand new tape dispenser. You're trying to talk to people about saving lives, and you understand that. So you got to find ways to, run a small business to do that. So it's easy to get beat up throughout the year, but all it takes is sit back and watch one individual connect with that wall, or watch one vet come out with you and see them release when they're in that kayak, and you just see their shoulders kind of let down a little bit, or watch a crowd react to our Stop 22 artist when they're singing one of their songs, and you see them out in the audience looking off into the sky or looking off, and they're listening to the words, and they're connecting. When you see that, it takes one instance, complete recharge, everything's back on deck. And go ahead, you can kick away again. All right, to the nuts all you want. We're ready to go. We got another year in us here. So let's get it rolling. There is a reward piece. I wanted to share one cool thing, AJ. So when AJ connected, he was first to connect up with us here. I had this rolling in the background.
Oh yeah, that's right.
He knew exactly who this was right out the gates. And he starts telling me about Tyler, about the songs that Tyler has. And I'm like, bro, you do know this is family, right? This is Tyler J. He's part of the Stop 22. He's one of the core members with us. He was just...
If you're in the Marine Corps from when did he make when did he make the EAS song? Probably 2007, 2006 or something like that, maybe?
Yeah.
Early GWAT to now, if you were in the Marine Corps, you should know who the dude is, right? You've heard the EAS song. I think that was probably his claim to fame. But yeah, he's got some music.
The EAS song is still the most downloaded song off of YouTube in YouTube's history.
No kidding.
It is the most viewed song and downloaded song off of YouTube. Yes, the EAS song. And here's even a funnier story for you. So he wrote that, and when you meet Tyler, he's got this tough, rough exterior, right? He's like the Waylon Jennings, Johnny Cash mixture in one person. But when you get to know him, you find out that he's got a heart like everybody else, like every other veteran, right? He's compassionate towards his guys. So he wrote and sang that song after his platoon got ambushed that day, and they had a couple casualties, and the morale was low, morale was down. So he got his guitar out, and he just really quickly went through and started writing. I think he said it took him like 12 minutes to write the song.
Wow. And
he's sitting out there and he's singing the song. And that video you see of him in the fob, that's pure, that's real. I mean, he did that while he was combat deployed. And the story behind it is he wrote it to boost the morale up, to get the guy's spirits back up from that ambush. And I think it was his first sergeant and his company gunny were sitting there and they're listening, or the battalion sergeant major and the first sergeant were sitting there listening to it. And the sergeant major was like, "That's a good song. I like that." And the first sergeant was like, "You do realize he's telling us to go fuck off, right?" And they're like, No, that's a good song. He goes, "Yeah, listen to it again, sergeant major. He's telling us to go fuck off." So they were actually going to bring charges against him for that song once they realized what it was saying. And then they got him in front of the CO, and he told the CO why he wrote the song. And the CO was like, "Get the hell out of my office, man. We're not doing this." He had the right motivations for doing this. It's freedom of speech. Let him do his thing. But yeah, that's the story behind that song.
That's awesome stuff.
it's cool, and I've probably known that song now since 2011. That's probably when the first time I heard it. And I never knew that. So that just makes it even that much. I probably watched the video of him in the, sitting around the smoke pit or whatever that was out in that fob, I've probably seen that video 100 times,
Hell yeah.
That's crazy. That's awesome to know.
Hell yeah.
My man Andrew Jimmy says that he catches it for just losing his wife's scissors. He can't imagine if he lost her fish.
For me.
Awesome stuff. Well, listen, gentlemen, we've been rolling almost an hour and a half here, and I knew this was going to be a heck of a show.
Wait a minute, we're not done.
We're not?
No, we're not done.
No, we're not. We got a giveaway to do.
Well, you got that, but I've got to tell a room full of fishermen that up until 2 years ago, I hated fishing. Absolutely despised fishing. And then a friend of ours decided to put our names in a hat for a veterans marriage retreat in Port Allsworth, Alaska. So we get flown to Alaska. I still didn't like fishing until they threw us in an aluminum boat, put us in waders, warming layers, and said, we're going fishing. And we went fishing. And man, I was catching king salmon. Every time I would cast out, I was catching something. And it was a damn good time because those fish put up a fight. And then, like the next day, we go out on an excursion. The dude lands a seaplane in an active volcano just because the pilot wanted to have lunch. And then he says, go fishing. And we're like, what? Yeah, an active volcano going fishing. Third day, we're out in a stream. And there's, I don't even know, Arctic char, I think is what they were called. Little green fish by millions of them. Like we were stepping on them doing fly fishing. Fell in love with it, man. Absolutely fell in love with it. So I understand your guys' passion for this fishing thing. I really do. I don't understand the catch and release crap because if I catch it, I want to eat it. But I get it's part of the sport.
It's an acquired taste.
And if you want a great marriage therapy, put two people that are not used to being in a canoe or kayak and have them paddle together. That's a great way to connect.
That sounds like you'd see that on like one of these divorce attorney billboards, like go fishing with us prior to doing your divorce. See if you
that was one of their togetherness programs. Is they threw us in damn doubles kayaks, and we had to go kayak halfway out in Lake Charles, go around their bass boat or their aluminum boat, and then paddle back. I was soaked in water, and my wife hit me in the head so many damn times with that paddle. She wanted to be in charge in the front, and I just said, you know what, screw it, you do it. And I just sat there and threw a fit like a 5-year-old.
Yeah, man, that's that double up paddling thing. That could be that could be an interesting outing for sure. 100%.
Well, what's crazy, Gene, is when we went on that cruise we went on, our 7-year delayed honeymoon cruise.
Yep.
We got put in a doubles kayak again. And we already knew this whole happened once. So she just got in, she put her paddle down, and she goes, you do it. Okay.
Well, I can say one of the cool things about getting in the New Canoe Unlimited, the two of them jumped in on their own. They got in one Unlimited. His wife just wanted to sit on the deck of the Unlimited. Brian sat in the seat, but I had him a Newport 180 drive in the back of that thing. What was unbelievably super cool is it was a matter of 20 minutes, and here Captain Romans is cruising, and he's got his arms back like this, and we're going on Pickwick, man, some of those creeks, and he's just cruising that Unlimited through there. I didn't see any paddles flying over there. They were nice and relaxed in the Unlimited. So
it was a good day.
It changes the game for sure.
The fish were not cooperating with us, but that was mainly their guide was kind of stupid. I took them to the wrong location, for that time of year for sure.
They usually don't.
I fished Pickwick, I think, once prior to that. So,
Free fishing, guys. I mean, what are you going to do?
Right, exactly. Well, listen, fellas, let's go ahead and take care of some business here. Real quick, folks at home, if you're watching this, you've heard we've got a field ops event going out Lake of the Ozarks. We're trying to put one together at Table Rock. Looks like Kentucky, we're going to get one. The Wall's coming to the All-American Classic. You don't want to miss that. Stop on down to the Benson Convention Center. We're going to be there Friday and Saturday. The Wall's going to be up. So definitely stop in there. You'll be able to see it at the awards. If that's the only time you can get by the convention center, come by for the awards there. There's going to be food there. It's going to be a great time. And the wall's going to be on full display there. We're looking for some help in Okoboji, Iowa, that area. We'd love to put an event on there. La Crosse, Wisconsin, or any of those surrounding towns, we'd love to put an event on there. And then Lake Ouachita down in Arkansas. We want to try to get events, field ops events. So what does that mean? What we need is a local kayak dealer, preferably New Canoe would be the best, but a local kayak dealer that would help us with some kayaks. And candidates, man, we need a couple first responders, a couple veterans, a couple active military, whatever that you think could benefit from being introduced to kayak fishing. We always say we promise you either laugh with us or at us. One of the two things. We're gonna have a damn good time. I promise you that. So those pieces.
These don't have to be combat vets. They can be any generation of veteran. They can be, our Korean War veterans are starting to fade out. Our Vietnam veterans are starting to fade. World War II veterans, I think there might be a handful of them still left with us. It doesn't matter if you're a combat veteran or if you're a garrison veteran. If you served the nation, if you served your country, if you served your community, we want to hear your candidates. And we truly do want a candidacy. So we want to have a pool. That way, if we don't get to everybody get selected this time, maybe the next time we come back, we pull that name out of the hat and we come, hey, we're coming back. We're going to visit. You're on the list. It takes a tribe. It takes a community. And that's what we're looking for. It's not just combat veterans. Again, it's any genre of veteran, any genre first responder. And yes, EMS is first responder, LEO, firefighters, volunteer or paid. It's all part of that community and part of that family. Sorry, Gene.
No, you're perfect, brother. Thank you so much. And Andrew, thank you so much, brother. You know where I'm at. Hit me up. We need to get on the phone together, not just social media. Let's chat. And yeah, if you know of anybody in that neck of the woods for Okoboji, that would be fantastic. Be super cool. All right, let's get to this drawing here. So, I saw some people. We got more entries this time here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start this draw. Then I'm going to share the screen. This program has scanned over all of the platforms that we have here, and it's what it was looking for was hashtag Battleborn Tackle. And so if you did that, then your name is entered in the drawing, and we're going to go ahead and roll that up here. So 1 second.
And we're still doing the free shipping. So right now, if you be a good time, I don't know how much longer we're going to be doing the free shipping stuff for, but it's still going. So,
dude, that's a tremendous savings right there. Heck yeah, $25 plus free shipping.
I'm going to try to do it as long as we can. We'll see how long. They keep on freaking, unless the prices are going to go back up. And I'm like,
right. All right. So here we go. I'm going to go ahead and we're going to do the draw. Then I'll share the screen here. All right. So she's rolling through the people that have commented. Let's see who we got. Stacy Jordan out of Missouri there. Awesome stuff. Stacy, I'm going to hit you up on DM, brother, and I'll get you connected with Battleborn. We'll get you that $25 gift card from Battleborn Tackle.
Stacey's
that is awesome.
A good dude.
He is, man. He's and I'll tell you what, just seeing some stuff that Stacy and his family have been going through, this warms my heart to know that he won this.
Absolutely.
That's good stuff, man.
Heck yeah!
Congrats, Stacy.
Right. Thanks for everybody that did the drawing, and appreciate everybody stopping by the website and everything too. It's been awesome to partner with Eugene.
Brother, this is how we do it. We're a bunch of small entities out here, and this is how we get the mission done. This is how we take care of things, is we work together, man. And we're just going to keep doing that. My wife has made it possible for me to chase this stuff and go do this. We're going on vacation tomorrow. She has set up a place that she absolutely is looking forward for this vacation, and I'm excited to get out there. She deserves this more than anything, and that's the piece, dude, is that we just small entities all work together, and we got the power then of something a heck of a lot bigger then.
Oh yeah, yeah, and that goes for you too, and Romans. If you guys need anything, man, don't hesitate to holler at. I mean, reach out.
Absolutely. Yeah, you can add me on Facebook. Add me up on Facebook too, so get on there, and then You see Squirrel Man with stuff on there, and we'll chat more too offline.
Before Gene ends this, shameless plug. For those of you listening, the viewers and watchers and listeners, if you go on your social medias, especially Facebook, you hit those three little dots, you go like, you go share, and you flood everybody on your friends list to these nonprofits and these organizations that support our veterans, first responders, and Gold Star families. That's how they get their increase on their social medias. That's how Gene gets the increase on the YouTubes. And there's certain revenue that comes with YouTube videos that will help propel the mission as well. So go out there, like, share, get everybody, all your friends list to copy and share, and like it as well. Not just the Gene, what Gene's got going on, but what AJ's got going on, what Jimmy's got going on. It's all that network that we like to talk about.
Heck yeah, man. That's that is very true. The likes and subscribes, there's a value that comes with that we can sell. The bigger audience that we demand and we show out there, we create value with that, and it's the easiest thing in the world for people to do that for a small business, for a nonprofit, whichever, man. It's just a like and a subscribe, man. It's easy peasy lemon squeezy. Hit your friends up, get them to do the same thing, and you can literally feel good about the fact that you did a good deed, man. You're helping the mission in a solid way. And so there's nothing wrong with that. Folks, stay tuned next Wednesday here. We have Mr. My brain just went numb here. Oh, my gracious. Craig Dye. I'm sorry. There we go. Dye Fishing. We've got Mr. Craig Dye had an awesome interview with him. That's airing Wednesday. And then Monday night on the 4th, I'll be just getting back off an airplane, so I'm going to be beat up and tired because we're going to fly through the night to get home. And if you tune in on Monday night, we have the Lake of the Ozarks breakdown. I had a chance to talk with Mr. James Dill, and I'll tell you what, this guy is such a diamond in the rough. This is a guide, man. This is the kind of guy you want to go out with if you're looking for a guide. James Dill does a great job of helping break down Lake of the Ozarks, all the different areas there. So check that out on Monday, and then we'll be back to normal stuff next week there. Mr. Gagliardo, AJ, thank you so much, brother, for showing up here and for stopping by the show and hanging with us for the whole night. This has been a ton of fun. We got to do this more often.
Yeah, my pleasure, man. Thank you, guys. It's been a pleasure to introduce myself to you two gentlemen down below. Hope to do it again, man. Appreciate it.
Good stuff. Jimmy, brother, I'm looking forward to the future of us working a lot closer together on a lot of different cool things, because you're the kind of dude I want to hang out with, man. And I love where your brain goes. I love where your heart's at. I love the energy that you bring and the things you've helped spark some creativity in my brain, dude. That was sitting. It was growing cobwebs there for a while. So I like hanging out with smarter than me people.
Oh, that ain't the case. I fooled you.
And Brother Romans, I am so glad that you drove down the road and parked in front of the neighbor's house and used their Wi-Fi so that you could get a connection.
Whatever it takes, man. Whatever it takes.
Go to a local Denny's or something.
No, the Waffle House is 28 minutes away.
That's a little too far away.
Yeah, I thought I was in the boonies in Indiana, but I'm really in the boonies here. In Indiana, I didn't even have a home phone available. So,
dang.
I could reach out to my neighbor if I wanted to right now. I got houses, I got gas stations, I got freaking everything will be open till 2 a.m. around here. Can't imagine.
See, well, that might be the modern conveniences. I got to tell you, I like being out in the middle of nowhere, looking at the stars and hearing nothing.
Well, it never turns off. So when you want that peace and quiet, it ain't here.
Yeah, Vegas is not the place to go for peace and quiet.
Nope.
Well, gentlemen, hang around with me here after we roll out of this here, and we'll exchange some contact info, and that way we make sure we get everything here. Folks at home, like, subscribe, follows, all that good jazz. As always, we love you. We thank you for your support, sticking with us through this. Everybody that commented tonight, Stacy Jordan, I'll be reaching out to you, brother, and get you connected. You got yourself a $25 gift card to Battleborn Tackle. That's going to be some awesome stuff. As always, tie lines and be safe.